something like that, and then the TNC Sports Factory, and then it was going to be the ham and cheese show.
That's probably my favorite one.
It didn't make sense to me, but it sounded funny.
That's why it was just funny.
Well, I mean, again, I have that was the reason why ham and cheese didn't happen, is because I was afraid I was going to have to explain it to multiple people that my name is Colby Sapp. Colby is a cheese, and his name is IndyCar Timm Ham. So cheese and ham and cheese. Actually, in that way, you would have gotten first billing.
That's true. I probably didn't deserve it though.
So.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself.
No, he really did.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know who deserves top billing, but I mean, it wasn't him. That's pretty much that. So we are now the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Timm show, which basically tells you who is actually on the show. By the way, if you don't recognize the bottom line guy that's running the boards for us, say hello to Gary, everybody.
Gary Jackson, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody.
Our new board op / mini producer.
I'm putting that on my resume, by the way.
So
Make
I know
it a
I know what you're asking yourself. You're asking yourself, well, what does this mean for content? Really doesn't mean that much anything else different than for content, because we're still going to talk about what we want, when we want, how we want.
Right.
You'll have a little bit of sports drawn in there. We'll still talk a little bit of sports, but mainly we're going to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
If it's tickling our gizzard, then we're going to fry that bitch up and serve it to you.
You ever had your gizzard tickled, Gary?
No.
Have you ever?
You will listening to the show.
Have you ever eaten gizzards?
I have.
Okay, gizzards are awesome.
Fried or steamed?
Both.
I prefer the fried.
I prefer fried though.
Yeah.
What about raw?
No.
Like gizzard sushi? Is that a thing?
That is not.
That is not a thing.
You might try that.
No, you won't. You don't want to try that because they're talking about the gizzard is from the chicken more likely than not.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, eating raw chicken meat is a bad idea.
Well, they do it in Japan, whatever it's called.
No, they really don't.
No,
They don't eat raw chicken?
No,
Isn't
nobody
that what
does.
sushi is?
No, it's fish.
No, it's fish.
Is it only fish?
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean,
much.
they eat raw beef over there.
Well, yes, and raw beef is good if it's made correctly.
I'm not trying raw beef.
Oh, it's
I'm
good.
Not, I'm not an adventurous.
Oh, it is good.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, I wouldn't have it anywhere in like Texas.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Benihana maybe.
As far as that's concerned, if you want to know what happens with it, a lot of times it's when they're mixing it together, it does get an egg with it, but then they use like a different acidic items like lime juice and stuff to kind of kill anything that might be going on there, and it's called beef tartare.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Weirdly enough, it tastes nothing like tartar sauce though.
I know,
or like
that.
tartar sauce.
Yeah. But Tim was talking about possibly eating chicken tartare, which that's just a bad,
that's not a good idea.
It's a bad idea all the way around.
I'll let you know how it is.
No, I mean, go ahead. You let me know from the toilet while you're praying to Ralph and talking about somebody has stolen my Honda.
So this is our new endeavor. We know you guys are going to enjoy it. If you liked the old show, you're going to like the new show that much more. We've got, a new theme song, obviously. We've got some new stuff coming at you segment-wise. And mainly, we're just here for fun and to entertain you guys. A lot of interaction. And if you guys are watching the video live, feel free to comment. We'll put you on the screen. We'll answer your question if it's even halfway intelligent.
Or just
probably even if it's not.
That's probably if it's not.
You know what? Even if it's like the dumbest question I've ever read in my entire life, I will be more than happy to read it.
But you got to point it out first, though.
Yeah, dumb question here. Should you eat raw chicken? I mean, that's pretty dumb.
I don't think I asked the question. I think I just volunteered to do it.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess we could put that on the wheel. But
Colby, do you want to hear the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life?
Yes,
because it pertains to you and your old show.
Okay.
Back in the day on the old KNC Masterpiece, when Corey would read questions from Yahoo people or whatever it was.
Right.
The one guy or girl, we don't know, who asked, why does my arm turn red and shake when I eat dirt?
Here's my penis.
I want to meet that if they're still alive.
I imagine not. My favorite one was that one. Also, my favorite one was the lady that asked, I'm pregnant. How do I know it's mine?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of those.
How old were these people?
You don't know, but
I
old
mean,
enough to be pregnant.
Is there really an age gap on it?
I mean,
they-
you're from Louisiana, man. I don't know how
Yeah.
y'all do things.
First of all, y'all
Wait,
gotten
so
away with
Oh
a
wow,
lot
you
more.
affected him. You hear him get high pitch
Yeah.
on you. You got him for a
I
little
got
bit.
him. I mean, I'm from.
Aren't you
I'm
from there too?
I mean,
It is
so-
how it is.
So there it is. So I do see on the run sheet that we do have things that we would like to get to. Starting off with, somebody has on here something stupid like previewing the Super Bowl.
I thought 5 minutes. Look, a 5-minute Super Bowl conversation because it's happening Sunday.
Correct.
It's happening in Glendale, Arizona at that absolute toilet of a stadium.
The new one,
Yes, the State Farm. Have you ever seen that stadium?
it's all red and stuff.
No. It looks like a big blown up condom laying on the ground.
A
It's
stadium?
disgusting looking. Yes, it's gross looking.
Is
Have you
it
never
ribbed?
seen it?
I've seen it, but I don't know. Are you asking if I seen the stadium or the blown up condom?
Either.
Okay, I don't think I've ever, and I don't pay attention to a lot of things, and that's how I go through life, as happy as I am. I've never looked at the outside. The inside, with the red and all
That's-
that,
yeah.
looks all right.
I like it from the inside. That's
I
what
don't
she
really
said.
care. I don't really care. Did she say that?
Yeah.
Did she? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I'm gonna
Well,
go
you
with
got,
it.
You got her number.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm asking for a friend.
For a friend.
Let me show you what the stadium looks like as we preview the Super Bowl here. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
The hate is real.
Oh my God. And you know what? I'm still not convinced I'm even watching this thing. I'll be very, very honest.
You can't be more upset than my brother and I was when we started this podcast. We vowed to not watch the New England Patriots LA Rams back in 2019. Podcast anniversary coming up,
Why?
by the way.
What's wrong with those two teams?
Because they knocked the Saints out by not calling that
No.
pass interference call that didn't happen.
Right.
So
I can see that.
yeah.
There's your stadium, boys.
Where do you get blown up condom from?
You ever seen a rolled up condom laying on the
You
ground?
said blown.
You said
up.
blown up, not
Half
rolled
blown-
up.
Half blown up.
Half.
know.
I
To
have
me,
a
that
feeling
looks
you
like
said a
condom.
damn. You
Look, it's
blew up.
even got the reservoir tip.
I feel like you blew up a condom with your mouth one
You
day like a
think
balloon.
That looks like a good looking stadium from the outside.
I don't think it looks like a bad stadium.
I don't-
That looks terrible.
I agree with you, Kobe. I'm not sure.
It just
Just
looks
wanna
like it
vomit.
just. Why?
Gross.
How should the outside of a stadium look though?
I don't even really care how an outside.
Well, number one, it
is.
shouldn't have a top on it.
Oh my god.
I fucking hate domes. Domes are killing the world.
And actually,
Every time a dome is built, a puppy dies.
yeah.
Tune in to the Puppy Bowl before the
They
Super
still
Bowl.
do that?
Yeah, it's
No, it's
before
during
the
the Super Bowl, isn't it?
No, it's before.
Oh.
What
I
the hell
love
of a segue you got going on there.
I'm a hush now.
The outside of the stadium, I don't actually give a shit, Tim, and I don't know why you do either, because all you're going to be seeing is the inside. Besides
I care.
the flat. Well, I don't know why you care. That's the question. That is actually the question I'm asking myself, and not even really wanting you to answer.
Levi Stadium is ugly too. Looks like a
You need to make sure you can say it's a rhetorical question for now.
It looks like they never finished it on the outside.
Right. Because I figured if I continued on with this conversation, it was just going to continue with more of Tim telling us about other stadiums that he doesn't like that nobody else gives a shit.
I think he forgot to
about-
put that on there. He's trying to slide it in.
Stadium
Yeah.
talk.
That's the reason why he started it off with condom talk. No,
Yeah.
I understand. I understand. As far as the Super Bowl's going on, when you look at the matchups that's happening between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles, there's really only one. There's two spots that I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are better than the three. It's quarterback, it's tight end, and it's head coach.
That's it?
Every other spot that's out there, as far as offensive line, as far as the
Defensive,
attacking
yeah.
defense and the coverage skills and special teams, I think goes to the Eagles,
Man, I don't know about that.
including your grouping of running backs. I think all of that goes to the Eagles.
I honestly have to agree.
I'd take Chiefs running backs. And I can't even name one right now.
Yeah, that's because they've
I
been
can't name an
talking
Eagles
about him.
running back.
You
Gardner
can't-
Minshew play running back?
No, it's Miles Sanders.
Yeah, he's nothing.
Boston Scott.
He's definitely
I-
nothing. He's second string.
He's from Tech.
Let me go back to
Uh-huh.
this. Let me go back to this. You couldn't name a Kansas City Chiefs running back.
I can name one, but that's only because he
Christian
went.
Okoye.
no,
no.
I mean one that's currently playing.
Priest Holmes.
It's one that is currently playing for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Do you want to phone
Kareem Hunt.
You want to phone a friend?
Oh, he's in Clee now.
He's in Cleveland.
It starts with a P.
Priest Holmes.
Isaiah Pacheco,
Brett Perryman.
Clyde Edwards.
Oh, that guy that's a wide receiver playing running back.
Exactly. And
Perpendicular. What's his name? Percolator. Number 10.
Checo.
Yeah, Ivan Pachinko.
That's right.
They activated Clyde Edwards Helaire.
Look, and I have another problem with this. He's a running back.
Yes.
Yes.
They hand the ball off to him and he runs. That's the running back.
He runs really fast if you want real clarification.
I have a huge problem with this then.
What?
Why do you have a problem with so much stuff?
Wait. Let's go back to my original statement that you somehow had a problem with, which was I was comparing which had the better on what. And I said, I think the only spot that the Kansas City Chiefs have better in is quarterback, coach, and tight end. And everything else, I think, goes to the Eagles. And we somehow made it to the running backs. You couldn't name a Chiefs running back. When I did name Eagles running backs, you said there were a spare and a second string motherfucker, but you didn't know who was playing running back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I just couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, but when we found out his name, you were like, he's a wide receiver and should be playing running back. So
no. That's not what I said. It's not what I said.
What you just said. You did just say it.
You did just say
that. You did just say it.
I didn't say he's a wide receiver that should be playing running back.
Shouldn't.
I said I didn't know he was a running back.
Okay.
You know why? Because he wears number 10.
Oh my
God. That is
running backs don't wear number 10. And I get, you know what? And I love the whole restructuring of the numbers. I love that. I love running backs wearing number 9.
Complain about it a lot.
I hate the number 1. No player ever in any sport should wear the number 1 or the number 0 because 0 is not a number. It's the lack of a number.
If 0 is not a number, why does it start everything?
Number 10 just looks weird on a running back.
Why? I
thought he was like a Deebo Samuel dude where he's like everything but he plays both. I mean, he lines up in the slot sometimes.
He does, but he was the main running back that they had.
I mean, that's the only way you could survive as a running back nowadays.
He's better than Miles Sanders and Boston Scott.
No.
He's not better.
And David Boston. Better than him.
No. Or the band Boston.
He's way better than the band Boston, and that's my favorite band.
I'm talking about it being a running back.
He's better than a band of brothers.
Okay. Wait, basically, that's pretty much what's going on for the most part.
They're all brothers.
They're all related.
Apparently, we have. Never mind.
What?
I don't want to get canceled on our first show.
I was about to say he's doing his best to behave right now. It's only because it's a new show name.
I would give. Yeah, I'd give the receivers to the Eagles.
Yes.
It's because you can't name one that's healthy for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Tyreek Hill. Just kidding.
No.
Yeah, you're right. I can't.
It's Schuster, by the way.
But you know what? Oh, Juju Smith-Schuster.
I thought he was hurt. I know he playing, but I thought he was still kind of hurt.
He's been hurt since he was at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, somebody stole his bicycle and he had to walk and hurt his toe, and he hadn't been the same since.
Should have been Teddy Bridgewater. He'd never get his bike stolen.
No.
Jesus, because he can't ride a bike.
He definitely rides the bike everywhere.
I don't think so. With training wheels on it. But you know, the biggest thing that you mentioned there, Colby, that I think is maybe the biggest difference, especially in a game of this magnitude, is the head coach.
It could be, and the thing that could sway that as far as is just the experience that Andy Reid has, and in playoff games and such. Nick Sirianni doesn't have that, and also he tends to be volatile on the sidelines, which could, help your team. But if they start, squeezing the butt cheeks a little bit too hard, and he's over there running around like Tom, trying to chase Jerry, then yeah, things are going to not look. They're going to collide on them. That's the one thing you got going, because he's got feel good momentum going with his play calling, with everything that he's got on that sideline. And if they hit a hiccup in this game, you could watch that whole thing fall apart. With that being said, I don't know how. I know it's possible, but if you just look at stats and you look at how, the teams put together and all that, I don't know how, if you were running money up to Vegas, you wouldn't pick the Eagles.
What's the line? 3.5?
I think it's something like that. Yeah,
but I was about to say, I know it was 2 at first. I think it's 3 now, 3.5, like he said. I mean, I tend to agree with what you're saying when it comes to, the coaching. And it's not just the head coaching for me, it's the leadership that he's had stick around him for so long when it comes to Eric Bieniemy, Steve Spagnuolo, I believe. I don't know. With that being said, honestly, I'm kind of going the opposite way. If the Eagles get off to what they want to do, and that's running the ball down their throat, and the Kansas City Chiefs can't stop it, you looking for a heroic thing with Mahomes, and like you said, the defensive line trumps Kansas City offensive line, 70 sacks in the regular season.
Right.
I think that's what makes it interesting, but it depends on if Nick Sirianni and others on the offensive side can call a great game, and that's the risk that you run against the Andy Reid-led team.
No, it is, but again, I just think I can't talk myself out. I'm going to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs,
Of course,
obviously.
of course.
But I can't see with the emotion and heart taken out of it. I can't see how that the Chiefs win this game.
See,
I really
I'd find it hard to believe they're going to lose.
That's kind of how I am. I'm saying that, but then I'm also thinking the Eagles are going to do it. But I'm like, I'm not picking against Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, and I already put money on the Chiefs, on the Texans, Dallas Texans.
Okay.
That'd be awesome if they rolled out there in their old Dallas Texans uniform.
Yeah, they're going to do that in the Super Bowl.
That would
They're
be
I'm about to say the Super Bowl, they're going to do a
Like,
big
how
review.
pissed off would people in Kansas City be if they rolled out
I don't
there?
know.
with
We'd have to call Lance.
big Texas on their helmet with a yellow star where Dallas is.
We're moving home after this, guys.
Well, we need a winning football team here. I mean, I'd take them.
We have a winning football.
Would you
team.
trade the Chiefs for the Cowboys right now if they just swapped cities?
12 wins back-to-back seasons. That's winning team.
Where are we at, though?
10 wins.
Why did you say we? I'm just saying we. You're at home just like we are. You're at home just like we are.
Don't throw a chair through the glass.
I thought you said it was bulletproof.
No, I said I wanted one that was bulletproof.
Oh, don't throw a chair through the glass.
Yeah, you're not allowed to comment on Cowboy stuff.
I'm not coming. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said we are both at home. That's all I said, which is true.
What is happening? I didn't have enough sticks laid down at the first part of this conversation. Me able to follow this trail.
Blame Tim. It went sideways.
So yes, I've got the Chiefs. Colby has the Eaglets. But his heart is with the Chiefs.
Heart's with it.
I'm about to say it's hard with Chiefs.
And then nobody cares what Gary thinks because he likes the Eagles too.
I'm smart.
Colby, there's a television commercial that's on the air right now that you and I have commented privately on. That's really, really funny.
It's okay. So don't let an accident wreck your life, guys. Ben Abbott and Associates. Call Ben.
Hello, Ben.
These commercials that you've been overrun with. Now, first of all, I don't know where in 1988 they got the technology to make these commercials, but
Did it on his Commodore 64.
It's somewhere in there to make them, because man, it's bad. It's real. It's not as bad as his older ones that look like they were shot in the same video that the old Paula Abdul video was two opposites attract or whatever was shot. And they like spray painted the brick wall and stuff. Like
the cat.
Yeah, that was
MC Scat Cat.
The MC Scat Cat. That's right.
Whatever happened to him?
But
he scattered away.
I don't know how many people have been irritated by these commercials.
I think they're great because I love controversy.
First of all, we'll get into that in just a second, but one that really just made me want to, where it's almost that I like the first time and only time I smoked salvia and then I ended up feeling like that I was actually getting eaten by the couch and being sucked into it. I wanted to just have that happen again when the TV was on, just to try and get away from it fast enough, because you had Ben Abbott and you had his attorney spokeswoman,
the skank of the week.
Yeah, when this was the chick with like, don't look at her hands, dude. That's the longest fingers I've ever seen in my entire life.
You know where these chicks come from, right? It's just struggling actors here in the DFW area, and they get a call from their agent like, "Hey, you want to be in a commercial?" Yes, I want to be in a commercial.
That sounds right.
She's super cute, but
It's a Ben
you know
Abbott
that
commercial.
it's just
Oh.
when she does the call Ben and she puts her thumb and pinky, it's like her pinky's going all the way to her other ear. It scared the shit out of me when it happened.
I never noticed that.
But it really irritated me because they've been doing these to where they have like the person that they're talking about out in front of them. And this particular one was there was this lady and she's like, and there's like the laundry's all outside and she's being clothespin to the laundry line and all that. and then Ben goes, "Don't let a wreck clothesline you." And I was like, no.
I kept waiting for a rim shot.
No. You didn't. It's right there, Ben. Don't let a wreck hang you out to dry.
No, you got it wrong.
That's gold right there.
That's what you should have used. And my brain was like, oh my God, who wrote this for him? Did he write it for himself?
Do you think he did that on purpose? Like thinking he was just being funny?
No.
Going against the natural flow of it?
No,
By the way, Flo will come into it later.
Yes. No, it wasn't. It was so cornball but it wasn't like it was like, ha, gotcha. I went left when you thought I was going to go right.
Like when someone says, "Hey, make like a tree and get out of here."
Right. No, that wasn't. No,
okay, that wasn't what they were doing.
I think he was like trying, because the other one, which I don't remember, is a good try at like some kind of pun, but this one was, oh my God,
just bad.
And the like duality or juxtaposition of the Thomas J. Henry commercials, to where I know he's short, but you don't know that he's short.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always just got the look into the camera like, I'm going to take care
of you. And the camera's always below his head.
Right.
It's always looking up at him, too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to take care of you. I'm a badass, and things are going to work out because I'm Thomas J. Henry.
My hair is salt and pepper. Respect me.
Yeah, that's right. And like the Thomas J. Henry is like the J's done in a solid red, and it's really cool looking. And I'm like,
a cool logo.
If I needed somebody to, you know, be my attorney or whatever, then that guy.
It looks like he could get the job done.
Yes. And Ben Abbott and Associates is, I guess they're the guys that you call after you've called everybody else.
When no one else can help you.
And unless you end up being a sponsor, Ben, then of course I will change my tune.
Yeah, well, you can help me with all my legal issues. I don't know if you can handle it or not.
But did you notice that they started going after people?
Yes, they're going after Progressive now and Flo, like personal attacks on Flo.
No, not Flo.
Yeah,
yes.
when they were mentioning insurance companies at the bottom, like in picture in picture, which when's the last time you did picture in picture?
It's been a while.
In picture in picture, there's like a blue sign, and then there's somebody that doesn't look anything like, but she's dressed like Flo and just kind of
apron.
Dancing, yeah, dancing around and looking stupid. And I'm like, oh, why are you attacking Flo?
Anybody with Flo, do mayhem or something like that. Not Flo.
Oh my God, don't go after Flo.
Sorry, Flo.
Not Flo. I'm sad.
So, but yeah, I mean, you obviously like his commercials. As soon as I hear it, I'm
in.
I'm out.
I'll watch it. I'm like, who's he going to attack today? Because he attacks Thomas J. Henry like, I'm based in Dallas. Thomas J. Henry's in Corpus Christi.
It's true.
He's not going to help you with your case in Dallas. Call me. I'm the Texas Hammer. Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah. I think that may be Jim Abbott.
Jim Adler. Jim Abbott? The one-handed pitcher?
Yeah, no, Jim Adler. The Texas Hammer. And finally about it actually got me thinking, when will the pinky and thumb to the ear stop being the sign language for call me?
Whenever it stops working in clubs.
Never.
It'll never stop working in clubs. So forever.
At some point, like a generation is going to come along and be like, call me.
Because it's a flat.
No, it just look like you laying your hand on your head like you about to go to sleep or something like that.
Right.
Like,
I don't think it'll ever stop.
Yeah, like it's kind of perfect. Like,
right? No, but
hey,
nobody has a phone like this anymore.
That's true.
There's kids that are growing up that'll be like, call me. because they're used to they see.
Well, no, they do it on their watch now.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
kids will never say call me. They'll say text me.
No, they
They'll
say
go, text me.
no, FaceTime.
They don't do that. Kids don't FaceTime.
They-
Unless it's for sex.
They definitely FaceTime and then look at each other for hours.
Oh, I don't do that.
Yes, you do.
I mean, myself.
Right.
I don't know. It's just weird. But yes, Bill Abbott, Ben Abbott.
Ben Abbott.
Not Bill Abbott.
Not
Ben
Bill.
Abbott.
You are naming people and coming. I see what it is.
Ben
You're trying to get
Abbott
on the commercials.
is taking commercials and attacks on other lawyers like to the next. It's like a politician, dude. They're going to the next level.
And again, you can do that if you were like having cool commercials like Thomas J. Henry, but the fact that you're having yours made again somewhere in 1988, and then you go after other
Great
people,
special effects.
you're like, oh, well, that guy's attacking me.
You think Thomas J. Henry knows who Ben Abbott is?
Probably.
He got to.
At some point, they've ended up in like a conference or something, or just talking or whatever. You had to have, and maybe rivals, but
I was about to say they probably fight over the same person to sit there and like pick up their claim and stuff like that. Like it had to happen like that.
I mean, it might have, but it's still. I mean, it's take one look. Just play the commercial. If I was Thomas J. Henry, what I would do is I'd be like, I'll go ahead and play you Abbott's commercial first,
And you tell me who you want to go with.
and then this is mine.
Like a politician would do.
Right. Oh, so anyway,
All right.
if anybody else is tired of the Ben Abbott and Associates commercial, don't let an accident wreck your life. Call Ben. Then
Hello,
comment
Ben.
or I don't know, like,
Hello, Ben.
subscribe.
All that good.
Stick
Not to
your thumb in
him,
your
to
butt.
us.
Yeah.
Gary, let's hit that good, bad, and ugly theme song.
I was way ahead of you.
Well, you weren't because I had to say it first.
Well, I was waiting for Kobe to
Okay.
stop. I'm trying to like time it right. Come on, man. This is my first time.
This segment is the segment where I go through all the people that are born today, pick out the famous people, or at least the famous people to me, make them into a list, and give you an opportunity to tell me who you think is the good person, is the bad person, and is the ugly person. So we're starting out at number 12, turning 68 years old today. One, not John, Joe Madden.
I thought you were going to say Joan Cusack.
Mm-mm.
When you said man, I
Joe
thought about
Madden.
John Madden. So
Is he still managing or with the Cubs, or did he get
I think
fired?
he got
I can't
fired.
remember.
I think he got fired.
Joe Madden also, and you guys, most of y'all will not know this reference. Go look it up online. Joe Madden, the doppelganger for Hollywood Golden Age star Spencer Tracy. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'll take. I won't.
One of my favorite actors with the glasses on looks just like Spencer Tracy in his later years.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know. I'm probably going to forget to do
Longtime husband of Katharine Hepburn.
the man that's behind one of the first jerseys I ever purchased was because of him and the Charlotte Hornets jersey that I thought looked cool. 52 years old today, one Alonzo Mourning. I had, of course, him, and everybody had Grandmama Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
By the way, Grandmama, I don't know if I ever told you guys this. Grandmama Larry Johnson, of course, from Skyline High School in South Dallas. When we were in middle school, I was playing in 7th grade. He was playing in 8th grade. He was a year ahead of me. We were at a tournament down in Dallas. In 8th grade, mind you, dunked on me. He posterized me when I was in 7th grade.
Right.
How'd that make you feel?
Like a very small white boy next to a very large black boy. Just saying, dude. He was good then.
Turning 81 years old today. God, this guy is special. Nick Nolte.
Wow. How much joy has he given us over the years?
Just from being Nick Nolte. You know,
Buddy Holly. Played Buddy Holly
he did.
before he was crazy.
I mean, after crazy, still funny.
Man,
Just
48 hours.
not as intentional funny.
No.
And then we get Nolte kids running around doing stuff
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say.
Passed away in 2016, but made a career out of beating up hobos. Kimbo Slice,
Boxing.
MMA.
Oh,
Yeah.
was he MMA? I couldn't remember.
No, street brawl.
Yeah, street brawl. That's main. He ended up, if you wanted to look up his Wikipedia, it would say he was MMA.
Yep.
So there's that. What you talking about, Willis?
Todd Bridges?
No, that'd be one Gary Coleman, who passed away in 2010.
It wasn't much made about his death, was it? I can't remember that time.
Yeah,
he was working
I couldn't
as a
remember,
security
yeah.
guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was working. I
At
remember
Fry's
that.
Electronics.
Can you? My brain couldn't comprehend that Gary Coleman was working as a security. Can you imagine how ass whipped he must have been as soon as somebody noticed that? Oh wait, you're Gary Coleman. And then how many times he had to look at somebody looked at him and goes, "What you talking about, Mr. Drummond?"
I mean, he got to do that. Like, if you want me to do it, you got to pay him about $20 or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
You got to make it worth my while.
Yeah, it's $100 for a picture. Turning 90 years old today, but responsible for some of the greatest movie scores to have ever happened in ever. One John Williams. Your
Star Wars.
Indiana Jones, Star Wars, all of that.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the composer.
Wait,
behind
do you not know just by name who John Williams is?
No.
Wow, Colby.
No. I'm looking him up right now. At least I knew who he was. What?
We need to rethink our hiring process.
You get somebody to come do this.
33 years old today, one Julio Jones.
Overrated.
I mean, at the time,
Bama.
At the time before he started getting old, there wasn't a whole lot of people that could do anything about what he wanted to do on a field.
No, and he had Matt Ryan throwing him the ball, so
That's who's overrated.
Good. He's pretty good.
Overrated.
61 years old today, one Vince Neil.
Oh my God, Colby.
Smoking in the boys' room.
Well,
Favorite Motley Crue song.
Wild Side.
Wild Side.
I mean, there's no, Girls is a close second, and anything else on the Girls album comes next.
Right.
And then everything else is after that. I've seen Motley Crue 15 times in concert.
Wow. I actually know who they are. First
time, probably 1986.
Right.
And then I went to the Girls tour at Reunion Arena when Tommy Lee had the drum cage. I was 15th row, and I swear to God, he sweated on me. He was right above us in that rotating drum cage that he had, and it was pretty badass.
Did you scream?
I like a little girl watching the Beatles.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, I ain't mad at it.
Yep.
So, Dr. Feelgood, by the way, is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's a badass too. Yeah, right after that.
Seth Green, 48 years old, the guy behind the voice on Family Guy of Chris, and also, well, I mean, all the movies he's been in.
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
Love Robot Chicken. It's underrated.
Underrated.
See, look at this. I'm back in the good graces. Am I good to be hired now?
We'll see.
James Dean passed away in 1955.
Yes, he did. Gone too soon at the age of what, 26?
I don't have ages written down. You know how to do this.
Yeah.
Turning 50 years old, over 7 foot tall, and it's the Big Show.
Hey. Is that wrestling?
That would be wrestling.
He's a really big guy.
He's called the Big Show. Or Paul White.
Paul White.
Big Show's better wrestling name, I think.
Of course.
He's done both. He's used both just because of,
He's a really big guy, though.
32 years old today, and the last on our list, Klay Thompson.
Well, there's your bad right there.
Oh, we know how much you don't like these people.
Colby?
Yeah.
On Facebook today, celebrating a birthday, my buddy Alex Johnson turns 37, biker friend.
What's up, Alex?
Christy Chandler Holland, that I went to high school with, doesn't have an age on her Facebook, and I don't think you should be allowed to be on Facebook if you don't show your age.
Hello, Derek's sister.
But she's probably, we call her Lady Dutch Oven.
That's right.
Oh, that may be a bad connotation. Hey, baby, let me play with your Lady Dutch Oven.
What?
Huh?
Uh-uh.
Is that a thing?
Who said that?
Uh-uh.
Christy, happy birthday, Christy. Mackenzie Heath. Way too young for me, but friend of the family. Happy birthday, Mackenzie.
Good job controlling yourself.
Yeah. Just telling you, her mom's pretty hot too.
Two.
Coming
What?
for birthdays on let's see, Friday.
Did
Heather
you use the
Livingston.
sentence coming for birthdays?
After he said 2,
Sorry. A little distracted.
he tried to slide it in there real quick.
A little
Oops, I'm sorry.
distracted.
It's the train keep going, and he tried to slide
On
it
Friday, Heather Livingston, the owner. Don't people know what the hell I do for a living?
in there. After you got on Kobe for turning off his ringer. Look at
One
you.
of my kids, even. The proprietor of the Cottage in Dallas. One of the great biker bars down there. That's great. Heather Livingston, happy birthday on Friday, as well as my other biker buddy, Buck Rogers. Yes, that's his name. He turned 65. And finally, Colby, on Saturday, Corey Gann, friend of the show, comments all the time, shouts us out on Facebook a lot. He's 37. And my dear friend, who I will be away this weekend with, unfortunately, her husband's going too.
Oh no.
Oh,
Jessica Smith turns some age. I'm not allowed to say how old she is, but her birthday is on Saturday, and we will be at Broken Bow this weekend.
Huh.
Me
Well,
and two
going
married couples. What do you think about that?
are you the only single one?
I'm always the only single one.
I see where this is going.
That's amazing.
Jason and Katie Starkey are going, and Kenny and Jessica and me. Got a big cabin going, so wish me luck with the married folks. All right, who's going first?
Well, I mean,
Me?
who's ready?
You doing this, Gary? Did you write it all down?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Oh, you go first.
All right. So first I want to go with my ugly.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and give that to Klay Thompson.
All right.
And it's because I'm a Warriors hater at heart. I'm a Lakers fan. I think Klay Thompson is kind of ran out his time. Nobody cares about him. It's all about Steph Curry. I'm sorry, not Steph. So
Stephanie.
So yeah, Klay Thompson, I'm kind of go give him an ugly because you did a real good list this week, or I guess birthdays fell on a good list this week.
Yeah, they did.
My bad. I'm gonna give a bad to Gary Coleman, just because he fell so far.
Okay.
And I actually watched Different Strokes growing up, surprisingly.
Because the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born. He's
Oh, you gonna keep going? Oh, all right,
Then
yeah.
along comes
There you
two.
go.
They
Yeah.
got nothing but
Yeah.
the jeans, but
Hey.
it takes.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. He fell so far. It was unfortunate of his death, but golly, what a catchphrase. It still lives on if you know about it. What you talk about, Willis, like you said. And my good, both of us Kobe, we're wrestling fans. Paul
Yep.
White, aka the Big Show, I gotta give the good to him.
There you go. Tim,
Who's next?
My kid's my bad right now.
gotcha.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know if they made the
my
list.
good, boys. And I had a couple of options here. I almost went with John Williams.
The smart choice.
But I cannot go against Vince Neil. Vince Neil is my good because I think he outweighs me at this point of our collective lives.
Maybe.
He's about 10 years older than me. Vince Neil's my good. My bad, Nick Nolte,
Oh, but he's good.
but he's bad.
You just didn't want to put him as ugly.
I mean, I could have gone ugly, but unfortunately, I had my ugly like you as Gary Coleman.
See?
Well, you had him as your bad, right?
Yeah, I have him.
No,
in my
I've got
bad.
Gary Coleman as my ugly.
It's
He
'cause-
looked the same when he was 8 than he did when he died.
So you hate on him for having Benjamin Button?
I don't think that's what it's called.
I don't know what it is.
My good is John Williams because I don't know how it cannot be John Williams. If it were anybody else on Motley Crue, I would have had to go ahead and maybe pick them. But Vince Neil was probably my least favorite.
Did John Williams sing "Smoking in the Boys' Room," Colby?
No, but he gave us the Empire March, and
He did.
yeah, I mean, hello.
He's pretty good.
My bad is Joe Madden because how can everybody tell me that he's supposed to be the greatest thing ever, and yet he ends up having to be with a new team because his team wants him to leave?
He was a hot hire for several teams for a while, wasn't he?
Yep. And my ugly, well, just go pull him up now. It's Nick Nolte. He's 81.
He's got some funny mug shots.
He does.
And he's 81.
He's, you pretty much, if you were to look up the term in the encyclopedia of rode hard and put away wet or whatever, yeah, that's him.
I never heard that until just like a few years ago.
That's him.
Rode hard and put up wet or something. I never knew what that meant.
So I'm looking now because I'm familiar with who this is, but what would y'all say, I guess, his greatest claim to fame would be?
Nick Nolte?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, I know who he is. I'm saying, what would you say his greatest claim to fame? For the audience, not for me.
He's as an actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an actor.
I'm saying, like, what's his best movie?
48 Hours.
You go another 48 hours.
Another 48 Hours.
Predator 2.
Literally anything he's in.
Pretty
Buddy
much.
Holly
I
story?
know 48 Hours. That's what I was gonna go with, but I'm not just like in depth to what's going on. I just know like that's probably some of his best work.
No, Nolte is one of those guys. No matter what movie, what role he ends up in, you when you see him, you're like, oh crap, that's Nick Nolte.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Whoa, that's cool.
And he is nuts.
He is nuts.
And you know what? There's a medical explanation for his behavior.
Really?
Yeah, because he wasn't always nuts. He was always a little crazy, but he was in a really bad motorcycle wreck that almost killed him back in the mid to late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And he had severe head trauma. And now what would be diagnosed as CTE.
Okay.
And looking back, all the medicals, whatever, they're saying, man, he's one of the living sufferers of CTE. Much like now, I would put in the same category Antonio Brown. Because his behavior issues started after
it's definitely
hit by
CTE.
Vontez Perfect.
That's definitely CTE.
But
rewired that man.
yeah, but Nick Nolte, he's one of the good ones, one of the crazy ones that we like.
Good crazy.
All right, boys, we had history in the NBA.
Yes,
Much to my
LeBron James.
dismay. Yeah, that one. As he is now atop the all-time. Don't applaud this.
No, you can.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. It's an accomplishment.
Oh, I was just gonna let you get off. I was gonna do it halfway in between.
I know. As he is now atop the all-time career NBA scoring list. I'm not raising my hands. No,
I'm not either. I'm doing his chalk
God, I hate
talk,
that.
whatever
What
you
is
call
that?
it.
That pisses me off more than almost anything else he does.
It
What the
should.
hell is that?
You were
It's
just
his
angry.
celebration.
People have to breathe that dust in after he does that.
Well, it's greatness that breathes in, though.
It's not. It's disgusting. I would vomit all over his face. First of all, if I ever met him,
You are a hater.
can't wait to meet him and vomit all over his face. Yeah. So my hate for
Definitely.
LeBron James is well documented.
Right.
I, however, will now put LeBron James in the category that I finally put Tom Brady in. A guy that I can't stand, but yes, I will recognize his greatness.
I mean, you have to.
I don't think he earned the greatest all-time scorer. I don't think he should be that because he cheats.
How do you not earn the greatest all-time scorer?
Cheats. He cheated.
I don't.
Kareem did it with 2 teams.
Okay.
So
LeBron did it with 74 teams
I mean, not that many.
and a watered-down NBA.
but like, isn't that a test to his greatness that he did it with so many teams? Though?
Look, I already said I will recognize his greatness, okay? I'm not giving him any more credit than that.
That's about as much as you're going to have him do.
you know.
So,
Yeah.
He shocked us.
as I am not as far on the LeBron James hate scale as one IndyCar Tim. I will say that I am one of those guys. If you ask who the greatest I've ever seen, it was Michael Jordan. You want to go greatest of all time, then somebody will put out enough numbers to make me go, well, okay, then it wasn't Michael Jordan. But as far as who I saw play, the greatest of all time to me is Michael Jordan.
Same.
As
Agreed.
And then I would probably go, and people hate when I say this, but I started it. I'm going to go ahead and keep saying it.
Let me see what you got.
I'll go with generic Michael Jordan next,
Wait, who's that?
which is Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
I knew where you were going. That's why I laughed.
And this was before all the super comparisons and you could tell that Kobe was really following in Michael Jordan's footsteps with his mannerisms, with everything, with his competitive nature, all of that, and his practice and all of that. This was before that, and it was like, man, this is a kid that grew up watching Michael and said, you know what I can do? All of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did do all of that, by the way, that puts him at number 2 in my book.
Yeah.
And then I'll have then at number 3, it's going to be the mailman that also can shoot a 3. And that's LeBron James. Because he is
Karl Malone.
No. You got it. See, you're not following. We on the same page. We on the same page.
I mean, he was the mailman.
He said the mailman and shoot threes.
I never heard him called the mailman.
No.
He's saying his build, his game type thing.
His bull in
Hater.
the China his bull in the China closet way of getting to the rim, that's exactly like Karl Malone. He has that, but he also has the outside shot. And
he evolved it.
And his ball handling is a lot better.
Yes.
Than what Karl Malone's was.
Yeah.
So with all that put together, and the fact that besides what Tim thinks in his head, LeBron James, when it comes crunch time, can throw some D down. He will throw some D, and he will steal a basketball. He'll do whatever. He'll get in front of somebody when it's time.
As long as he got to shoot a free throw.
As far as him being on the defense.
No, yeah, I'm with you.
He can play, and those are the players that I look to when, like, Michael Jordan had clamp D. Kobe Bryant, when it was time, clamp D. And LeBron, and so in order to be the greatest all time and on that list for me, when I was watching you play, I had to see you go up against their guy when they had the ball and be like, you're not getting past me. And then you score at will, and you be able to shoot over them, under them, around them, or get your teammates involved. And that's something that I think it's overlooked with LeBron James, because when he trusts his teammates, he will get them involved. When Kobe trusts his teammates, they'd get them involved. And the same with Michael Jordan. He's not just kicking it to Steve Kerr out there and then letting him do. He trusted Steve Kerr at that moment. He trusted Ho Grant. And so I did say that, didn't I?
What's his name?
No.
His name. I mean, you had Horace and Harvey. One was Ho, one was Ha.
It's all true.
That's
true.
what we called him.
No, I didn't call him that. But I do agree. I do agree with what you said. Like, I have it in that order. That's why I held off to the resistance of LeBron being better than Kobe, because to me, competitive nature matters. That dog, that fight, whatever you want to call it, that assassination, that matters. And yeah, LeBron does deflect, but I think for anybody who's a basketball fan, whoever, like for Luka example, we use him.
Yeah.
If you have Luka and it's crunch time, I don't want the ball in nobody else's hands but Luka.
Right.
And so that matters. I get he involves his teammates, but the thing that you hear a lot of people talk about is that dog, that assassin, that willing to go get it. It's going to be all on you no matter what. LeBron deflects the teammates, and it comes to trust, but that's the thing that holds him back in the conversation to me.
Yeah, but as far as one of the greatest of all time, yeah, you can't take that away from him.
No, not at all.
You can't.
Real quick before the break, the NBA trade deadline is tomorrow on Thursday, on February 9th.
Tim, I have one wish to happen.
If I had one wish,
my one wish,
if I had one, I'm sorry, go ahead,
is that, and I know there's other players out there, and I've heard a lot discussed, but once I heard this one name that's out there, my brain goes, oh, I can't think about anything else now. It's like being at a buffet and they go, by the way, we have steak. I can't think about anything else now. You've got steak, and I can go tell them how I want my steak cooked. Oh, I'm in. Let's go do that instead of whatever else the hell's here.
Right.
And it's DeAndre Ayton. And there's been a rumor floating around that he could be having. I don't know if all this is true. This is social media bullshit, whatever. But that you could take Wood and Tim Hardaway Jr. and package them together, because Chris Wood is an expiring contract that makes that actually very valuable. You put them together, the money matches up, and you're able to get DeAndre Ayton. You're able to do that and get a really big guy that can get you rebounds and can play that play the putback game and get the ball and put it back in the basket off a miss. Man, you start talking about that guy with Kyrie and Luka, and then maybe
Well, now you
Bullock-
have 0 bench players though. Now you don't have anybody left on the bench, right?
Well, that's where that Utah game comes into play, because you went in there without Kyrie, without Dimwitty, because they were on their way to Brooklyn, without Dodo, and you walked in there in a place that Dallas doesn't win at all at, and your young guys showed up and showed out. So if you can get that kind of production out of those guys, and then you add the players that I'm talking about, plus Maxi Kleber's on his way back, and that's now, if you have Ayton, Maxi Kleber's your backup center.
Disappointing.
That's not disappointing at all. That's wind up.
I like Maxi, but dude, he's not.
Well, he's not what? He's a good defensive center.
Not gonna be your backup center on a championship team.
I mean, it depends on what you ask him to do. Because if you just ask him to come in, like,
well, how many minutes is this other dude that you're wanting to bring in here? How many minutes is he gonna play?
well, I think that's why Tim is saying get DeAndre Ayton, because he can play a lot of minutes, and he's not very he's very doable in this sense.
He's gonna have to have 30 minutes a game.
But I'm
First
saying
of
he's
all,
durable though, right?
I think Tim looks and sees Maxi Kleber and thinks, oh, he's a white guy, he shouldn't be playing. Let me explain.
Don't think that at all.
Let me explain. Maxi Kleber is actually one of the better inside defenders in the league in my book.
Okay.
One of the better. I didn't
think
say
he's
one of
soft.
the best.
I think he's soft.
He is one of those guys that he will deflect shots, he will take charges, he will get the rebounds. He's the only reason why the Dallas Mavericks, it's him and Luka are the only reason why they ever got rebounds. It wasn't Powell. Powell just like, oh, I got the ball. Why?
Yeah,
because it flew directly to him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his either.
So you're talking about Kleber being your backup center that can also play the pick and pop game when his three is falling. Yeah, no, that's amazing. And that starts looking like
Where are the odds that happens?
the odds that you get Ayton.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the odds are.
It's in
Is
talks
there
right now. That's
talk
all.
of that?
It,
Like, are there rumors
it is.
of that?
It's rumors of it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just looked it up. It's
Any-
a bunch of rumors actually.
Any chance the Mavericks can sign Shaq?
You would actually want Ayton right now.
I'd rather have Shaq.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't mind seeing Shaq in a Dallas uniform.
I wouldn't mind seeing Shaq in a Dallas uniform, and that's been something that's almost happened quite a few times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now, Shaq's just wanting to Papa John.
I mean, he lives in Dallas.
He's just wanting to Papa John and then jump
He
on
does.
it.
I'd love to see the big Aristotle out there. No, just playing.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be better coming here. I feel like Shaq would be better coming here right now today than Dennis Rodman was the day he got to the Mavericks in that fiasco.
That was the most wonderful fiasco.
I know, but dude, it was a shit show of epic proportions. No, I loved every minute of it, but
It
oh my
was.
God, it was
It was
the fact that he lived in Cuban's pool house at his house.
It was so smart. To just
He said
have
it
any-
was more.
it just have any reason for everybody to get happy about the Mavericks for a little bit again. That was such a smart move.
And he wore
Congratulations.
number
to-
72, weirdly enough.
Man, you say you don't like low numbers, so you know
now they got high numbers.
Now they
you know.
I never said I don't like low numbers. I don't like 1 or 0. That's all I said.
those are low numbers.
Okay, so's 2.
Man, he's got you right there.
So's 2. So's 3. So's 4.
he broke out the brush and he backed into the corner. He kept painting the floor until you had to stay there.
Still don't know that he knows what he's talking about.
Of course I do.
Colby, you want to take us to break?
We're not going to do anything about Sean Payton.
No, we don't have time.
Okay. Coming up next,
I don't really care anymore.
Tim
don't
is
either.
deflated, but we are going to be talking about the Batman Part 2. Also, some marriage drama and what state drinks the most alcohol, followed by news and notes. And that's all coming up next on the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim Show. I didn't fuck it up.
Fanstream Sports.
Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan, but he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com. and tell them JP sent you.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844 977 3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, one unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashland Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Coming back at you. Hello, sports fans. Mainstream Sports.
Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott.
What is happening right now?
My bad. I have a first screw up.
What is happening right now?
Hit the music.
No, that's built into the commercial. There is no music.
Oh,
So welcome back to the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show.
The cover's still on.
Not sure what just happened.
shouldn't we just hit the intro music again since they ain't got any words on it?
Oh, you want me to hit this?
Sure, you can do that.
There we go.
Welcome back to the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show. I am the aforementioned IndyCar Tim. He is the aforementioned Colby Sapp.
Damn right.
The not ever mentioned from this point forward is our producer, board up, Gary Jackson.
Gonna get fired.
Welcome back into the show. He's going to have to spin the wheel for that one. Like, I was going to let little small mistakes go, but you just shut it off.
I didn't mean to.
When I did this, I meant for you to turn our mics up.
My bad.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that beforehand because I wrote down everything you told me. That's your fault.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, I ain't spinning the wheel for that. You're spinning the wheel.
Now, we will have to talk about the fact that he just had the panic of, okay, well, just turn everything off.
He did. You just turned the whole fucking thing off.
Just letting you know, you should never in radio. Dead air is the worst thing ever.
Honestly, I know. That's why I'm like, oh no.
So, but there you go.
Silence is not golden.
Silent lucidity.
It's not golden.
Queens Richie.
First time listening. If it's your first time listening to the show, then you're along with us and everyone else in the world because this is our first show. under the new moniker, the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim Show. Here to bring you the best in whatever the hell we want to bring you.
That's pretty much
We're
right.
not tied to sports. We're not tied to current events. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, yep.
And that's the way we do things around here. So Colby, something near and dear to your heart, comic book movies.
Yes, this is correct.
And you really liked The Batman, right?
I did. I've seen that more times than probably a human should have seen that movie.
How many times have you seen The Batman?
The Batman, we're probably going on 8 or 9 right now.
Really? I've just seen it the once. And you know what?
It's gotten better actually the next couple times that I watched it after the first one too.
I think it's just not my style movie, regardless of if it's a Batman movie or not. Like I don't hate it. I don't dislike it.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know that. Number one, I don't like the actor.
Okay, first of all, can I go ahead and point out that, hey, can we have that commercial break taken
That's
off?
why I was texting it. I
right,
had
that
said
made-
it a minute ago.
Oh, well, you can do that too, Gary. You know, you have control of that in there.
Hey, you didn't tell me I can do it.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
There we go.
Thank you for pointing that out.
I'll do it next week.
That's okay. I know I'm not a fan of the dude.
Okay, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the version of Batman he portrayed, and I know what version he's trying to be,
Uh-huh.
and I know that he did it well.
He did it really well.
I'm just not a fan of that version of Batman. I think. What was it, like year 2, right? Like
It's
it was supposed to be
year
his
2.
second year.
Year
Yeah.
2, figuring it out. Not quite all of what you want Batman to be. Or
Right.
it's more of just anger issues. I mean, there's a reason why Batman gets into this thing, and it's because of the passing of his parents drive him to make himself into one of the ultimate weapons and ultimate detectives. And through having money and resources and being able to do that, he basically just spends all of his time focused on that. It takes a little bit of a deranged person to get to that path where he's at, especially in a world that if you look at Gotham Described, the Gotham fiction
Mhm.
that's around never talks about any superheroes that any of the kids look up to, as far as like they what comic books they're reading. If you go farther into the world, that's not a thing that's represented. The DC world is a world without envisionment of entertainment,
Right.
besides like your Gotham Knight football team and such like that.
Right.
So he grew up in a way that this was all it was. And he, thought of this on his own and became this nightmare to criminals that he wanted to be. So with that and the fact that even though he's got bat ears and stuff, he actually just goes around for the first part of the movie as vengeance. He's vengeance because that's what he wants to be. Is that he's not out for justice,
Right.
just
For
vengeance.
yeah.
So
And that's how Batman should be.
I mean, in terms of what I thought about it, like Zoe Kravitz,
right,
bombshell.
Always hot.
I guess
Grandma's hot too.
I guess for him to get this role after coming off like the Twilight being the biggest thing in his career, kind of dark, moody type thing, I guess it fits it. I don't know if I was a bigger fan. I guess I'll go back and watch it since you said you watched it quite a few times.
I did.
Maybe it'll be better to me because I'm a huge Batman fan. Like that was one of my favorite superheroes growing up. So
and I know you've got an article there, but I'll just reiterate this a little bit. The year 2 Batman is one that he screws up a little bit.
yeah.
He's not perfection, right? The other side of it is that as he gets older, he realizes the main part of being this dual life is concentrating on also being Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
And that's something that is actually missing from this, this alliteration of Batman is like a separation between Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And that's because it's supposed to be like that. He has to grow into being Bruce Wayne. And I think that's what Reeves's main point of this trilogy was that he starts out as vengeance, and then he ends up being the knight,
Mm-hmm.
and then he ends up being the full Batman. kind of
It's
an
a good
ode,
illustration.
kind of an ode to Kevin Conroy.
I'm about to say Kevin Conroy. Yep.
So
See, I told you I was a fan.
So we've talked quite a bit about the Batman and the
God, that's a good movie.
the new so-called, the originally planned trilogy.
Right.
However, the title of the second, I guess, part of this, what was supposed to be a trilogy,
Yes.
has now come out, and it is simply The Batman Part 2. So it's the first ever numbered movie sequel for Batman.
It is.
It's never been, you've never had a numbered before, of course. You can go all the way back to 1943, the very first screen adaptation.
Yeah, because the second one and that one was Batman and Robin.
I'm about to say, I think it was Batman.
And then
Robin.
in 1949, you had Batman and Robin. In 1966, you had, of course, the Adam West, Burt Ward, the movie version that kicked off the TV series. And then it took you until my favorite Batman, the year I graduated high school in 1989, the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton vehicle,
Right.
which is still my favorite. And then the sequel to that, of course, Batman Returns in 1992.
Which was better than the first one.
And then there wasn't.
I watched that plenty of times.
Yeah, it was good too. Like both of those were really good. To me, I just liked the first one because it was really the first time I'd seen like other than Superman in 1979, like a superhero movie.
Hate
Okay.
Superman. Hate Superman. Just don't.
You just don't
It's
like
not-
his
it-
pajamas.
No, it's not. He's not dark enough. I don't like goody two shoes, self righteous
Well,
people.
he is sometimes. You can watch the right Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
Superman, not Superman.
Man of Steel was pretty dark. I like that side of it that Zach.
That's a
Snyder-
good one. Yeah,
Of course, a lot of people didn't like it because he wasn't the big blue Boy
He wasn't.
Scout.
there you go.
So
That's
In nine-
I don't. Yeah.
In 1992, you got Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a sequel to that, but they did continuation in the that I guess timeline or whatever with Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Wasn't that the
that was the
Alicia Silverstone Batgirl?
well,
Hold
it was Batman and wasn't it Batman and Robin?
That was
Was she in Batman and Robin? Well, there wasn't a Batman and was there? Batman
was-
and Robin.
Chris O'Donnell as Robin, Drew Barrymore.
Okay, that was the next one then. Batman
Yeah.
and Robin was after Batman Forever.
Because that's when
Right.
Freeze shows up, right?
By the
what-
way, she's awesome.
Well, no,
I mean, it's
no,
very cartoony.
because Robin was both with Val.
Yep.
Wasn't he with Val,
Let's see.
or is he just George Clooney?
I was just Clooney.
I think that was just Clooney.
I don't know. Nobody like
both
anyone
both
can
of
know that.
those pretty much made me want to vomit anyway. So
I know. I get it. From knowing, especially going all the way, like what your interpretation and what your preferences are for Batman. I can see how you would hate that whole
it's
generation
just,
of Batman
just
movies.
too much. I mean, Tim Burton was a perfect amount of camp along with everything else and dark and all of that, which I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went and then Schumacher got a hold of it and just made a mockery of the whole thing. And
More
went,
comical than anything.
he went back to
Like cartoony.
the White Knight or the Batman the 60s TV show, which I mean is for the time it was spot on accurate for the time.
It didn't age well though.
But no, you can't go back to that in the 90s.
In 2005, you had Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins,
Awesome.
the first in what would become Colby's favorite trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Batman Begins was followed by The Dark Knight, which Colby, you agree that's the best Batman ever made?
Best Joker ever.
Best superhero movie ever made?
It's fighting with the Batman for me.
Okay.
Best Joker ever though.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like I'm
I
just
know
being
everybody
honest.
says that. I disagree. I have my own preferences of the Joker. And I'm not a Heath Ledger fan,
I am. I was about to say that's why.
but Colby made me watch the movie, and yeah, he's probably my third favorite Joker now.
Third?
Yeah, after Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, and then Heath Ledger,
And then Joaquin.
and then Joaquin, for sure.
I put him
Um,
behind Jack, but not nobody else.
Then the
Pretty
Dark
good about
Knight
Jack.
Rises.
That's what I'm saying.
And then, of course, The Batman. And now, rather than just throwing out another title, we have The Batman Part 2.
A lot of interesting thing is going into the Batman Part 2 because it left off the Batman where you were thinking that Paul Dano's Riddler was getting to get along with the new Joker in play, and that was going to be the team up. Even watching it then, I thought that really feels like the third movie in a trilogy, right? Like they come back later after doing some time, because I've seen interviews where Reeves talked about the other character that hadn't really gotten his due besides the time that Arnold Schwarzenegger played him, which was Mr. Freeze, and he really wanted to show what somebody could do with playing that part right, because Mr. Freeze's backstory is something amazing. And
the right person to bring that so much life.
That could be especially done with the way that it's kind of mixing Nolan and Zack Snyder's vision of both of them, because it's super realistic, but yet he's still like jumping off buildings. He's still doing some things that are like a little bit out of a little bit more than what a human could do. Like it took Nolan a long time to work his way up from he got a Batmobile to like in the third one, it's like, oh, by the way, he also has a jet and stuff and all this other things. So it's kind of working like that. I really do. I like the Elseworlds feel of it. This Gotham doesn't feel like it's on this planet.
No, it definitely doesn't. Definitely doesn't.
And so because of that, it does feel like an Elseworlds project, which matches up with what James Gunn wanted it to be.
Right.
So,
well, and they say, I mean, and I'm taking this article from Screen Rant, by the way, and they say in the article that it's more significant, the title is, than just being the first numbered Batman, because everyone thinks that it's an indicator that it's not necessarily just a sequel, but it's a literal immediate continuation of the first movie. Like literally it picks up right where the first one left off. It's not a number of years later. It's literally right after the other one.
Right. And there's a couple of storylines that match up with the end of what's going on. I won't get into too far of that, but there are some pretty major Batman storylines that deal with Gotham being decimated and him trying to pick up from that, and some of the villains that kind of enter the fray. And that feels like, again, where Matt Reeves was hinting at with the movie anyway. So the idea of bringing along a Freeze or bringing along somebody like that to kind of be your middle villain as Gotham starts to rebuild, and also show the semblance of Gotham rebuilding as Bruce Wayne has to step in and help rebuild that with also fighting the villain and being Batman. You start to see that duality. And then the culmination movie, if it happens, will be the Riddler and Joker teaming up to...
God, if that happened, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Well, in the very end of the movie, I mean, if I remember it correctly, it literally hinted, not even hinted, it pretty much foretold them teaming up, right? I mean, they're cellmates next to each other at Arkham Asylum, and that's literally the end of the movie, is them talking to each other.
So that's something that I hope we get to see. I think it really just depends on how part 2 does, because that would, of course, force DC Studios' hands to go ahead and let Reeves have another one, because there is going to be some confusion in it because of what James Gunn wants to do. And he's ready to do the Batman Brave and the Bold storyline. He wants to do that, which includes the Damian Wayne Robin. So it goes from your young year 2, year 3 Batman in the Batman with Pattinson on this Elseworlds trip. Gunn wants to tell the story of an older Batman, which I say still can be Ben Affleck, which would be amazing.
Did not like him.
The best Batman to ever play Batman.
I'm Batman.
Trash.
No. He was... I'll point it out to you. I'll go through it real quick.
Yeah, we have time. Go ahead.
Michael Keaton.
He's my favorite Batman.
That's my favorite Batman too. That's my favorite.
Played an awesome Batman.
But
his Bruce Wayne sucked. It sucked. You go to Christian Bale. His Bruce Wayne was amazing. His Batman
Christian Bale was,
sucked. It sucked. The villains made that awesome.
I agree with you. The villains made it awesome. I don't know, like it just didn't hit for me with being
Ben Affleck is Batman. Perfect Batman. For the older Batman, dark, brooding, upset, pissed off, tired of everything. That Batman, Ben Affleck played it awesomely. His Bruce Wayne nailed it. He's the only guy in the modern era, because you can't go back and look at the other
You can't go
actors.
back. Yeah, no.
The only guy to nail both Bruce Wayne and Batman.
I'm Batman. See, Ben Affleck, and I'm on the fence with him. I like
When he was Bruce, I knew he was Bruce.
I like his him. I liked him really early in his career. Like one of my all-time favorite movies is Chasing Amy, the Kevin Smith vehicle with Joey Lauren Adams, Jason Lee. You know, that whole universe that Kevin Smith created with Mallrats and Clerks and all that.
Right.
And to me, Ben Affleck will always be Holden McNeil. And Jason Lee will always be Banky Edwards. It's just how I look at actors. To me, Tom Hanks is always the dude from Bosom Buddies. He's always Kip Wilson. No.
I mean, you just said Kip Wilson. So.
That was his character's name. But anyway,
I just like him.
It was hard for me to believe him as Batman going into it. But when I saw the movie, I'm like, no, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. And I don't differentiate. I mean, I'm not into it like you are enough to differentiate how do they play Bruce Wayne and how do they play Batman. But I mean, clearly there's a difference, with them. And
it's like you said, that duality.
So
it's definitely a difference.
So, but anyway,
are we ever gonna have a black man?
It's a blank man that was out there.
There was
Blunt Man and Chronic.
We're going to have a version of a gay Batman coming up.
Like we're having gay Superman already, right?
Yeah, actually, we are.
We talked about that before.
He wasn't already.
No, there's no, he wasn't. No, and this is in the DC universe. The Authority I mentioned on my mystery shotgun that James Gunn has plans to bring back the Wildstorm storyline of the Authority, and in there you have Apollo, which is basically a almost a corrupt Justice League is what this group is. And you have Apollo, who is your Superman character. You have Midnighter, who is your Batman character in this. Now, Gunn has expressed that, of course, they're like in the comic books, they're going to be from another Earth, not from the main stay, but he's going to add them in, as the Earths find out about each other. Add them in coming into it. But in the comic books, Apollo, the Superman character, and Midnighter are partners in life. Right. So they're the Otherworld Justice League is their two leaders are the gay couple that end up adopting one other member of the Authority in this. The characters, though, in description, Superman, Apollo, who gets his power from the sun and he can shoot beams and all that and strength and all that. Midnighter's a former super soldier type guy, Navy SEAL, what have you, that also has neural implants that helps him be even more of a tactician because he can remember every step of war and everything that's going on throughout that. And he has money. So he's Batman, but he's Batman like on steroids. And then in the middle of this, you have Grifter, who is like the Punisher and Wolverine got together and decided to do stuff with like a little bit of Jean Grey. Because he's got a little bit of telekinesis and all of that. But he also shoots guns. He can self-heal, and he really likes killing things. So
who doesn't?
I know we went from the Batman to the Authority. I apologize for that, but that's what you get for opening up the comic book wagon and then having me open a mic.
So for anybody who knows, I mean, who doesn't know, they've been educated.
There's another piece to this in the Batman 2 that I found that is supposed to be more or different than any other time we've ever seen the Joker on any screen adaptation. And it takes again from the Batman from the original movie. Where we didn't really see his face, right. But apparently there's a deleted scene that's floating around.
There is a deleted scene.
It does show his face.
It does.
And it actually includes a pretty deep conversation, I guess, between Batman and the Joker that reveals a pretty, I don't know, I guess a pretty complicated past.
It does that they've met before
right.
situation. So the deleted scene that was in the Batman is Pat Bat showing up at Arkham Asylum, and the person he wants to go ask questions about is he's wanting to ask about the Paul Dano Riddler and what does he know about him, and maybe in almost the Hannibal type of situation where you're asking the bad guy about another bad guy, and then they get it gets pretty intense in the little clip that I've actually seen it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a link to it here. I haven't watched it yet, but we've never really seen that side of Batman and Joker's relationship on the big screen before.
No,
where it goes that far back into their relationship and describes it that way.
It was kind of the equivalent of like an early version on Zack Snyder's Justice League at the end, where Batman and Jared Leto's Joker are talking as Leto's like at the end of the car or whatever.
Right.
And basically Batman's promising that, oh yeah, I'm going to kill you. It's going to happen.
Right. That was a pretty intense scene.
So
Beautiful.
It was. All right. Well, there's some Batman talk for you, some DCEU. For you guys that are big fans of the Batman and all the other DCEU and MCU characters, if you're a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of movie adaptations of those comic books, you want to make sure you listen to Colby Sapp's Mystery Shotgun podcast. We're going to start doing those a little more frequently, hopefully, now that we've got the studio up and running. We've got some time. And Colby literally, I mean, I will describe him as an industry insider because he gets stuff that before other people, he's literally broken news about movie details and stuff that came out publicly, I don't know, as late as a week to 2 weeks later.
right.
That came public. So you want to make sure you listen to his show if you want some of the deep insider information on all of the DC, EU, and MCU Mystery Shotgun podcast over at dspmediaonline.com and on your favorite podcast app. Right now, boys, let's talk a little bit about alcohol.
All right, then.
You want to talk about some alcohol?
Sure. Why not? It's getting close enough to my birthday. I might actually have a drink.
Yes.
It's always been a friend of mine. Wait, when is your birthday?
February 24th.
I told you we don't know nothing about each other.
I want to talk to you boys about what states drink the most alcohol.
Ireland.
It's not a state in America.
Okay.
But you're probably right.
Right.
Well,
Russia?
We should go countrywide.
You want okay.
State. Where is Russia? Is that up by Alaska?
The most alcohol now is this like most alcohol per like person that lives there, or is it just
like big city type?
So we have a couple of different lists. All right. The two that I'm paying the most attention to, or all of the attention to, are the states that drink the most alcohol per capita.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the states that drink the most alcohol in America by the gallon.
By the gallon?
By the gallon.
Per capita.
Per capita.
So let's start with just the most alcohol in America per capita.
How many guesses do we get?
You would think, well, there's a lot of meth there, though. I was going to say Florida.
I knew you was going to.
But America's Wang does a lot more drugs than drink.
I knew you was going to say
So you
Florida.
guys will never, if this is a guessing game, you guys will never get it.
Hold on. Give me one.
Wait. No.
How about one guess each?
Okay.
Okay.
I already used mine then. But
No.
You
I
get
didn't hear
another
what
one.
you said.
You just want to say Florida.
I just
And there are two states that are at number one.
Can I get a hint first?
No, there's no hints.
No, I just want to ask, is it somewhere like we would think of, or is somewhere that we wouldn't think of?
That's a hint.
Now,
I mean, you got a 1 in 50 shot or 2 in 50 shot of getting it.
49.
You know
I
what?
want to count one of them.
I'm going to guess if you're looking at per capita, so it's like amount per person, right? Man, there ain't a whole lot to do in like Montana.
You going the same way I was.
Except drink.
So Montana is listed in the middle of the road here.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So per capita, I feel like I want to go with like Minnesota or something.
Minnesota is below Montana in the lower middle of the road. The two states that come out on top are New Hampshire
Stop it.
Okay.
and Nevada.
Well,
Oh, I mean,
Nevada, I kind of get
I get Nevada.
because you got Vegas there, right? Which
Right.
is where most of the population is in Nevada. But New Hampshire, New Hampshire is number 1, by the way.
New Hampshire is number 1.
Number 1
I mean, I get
per
the
capita.
I get the cold, and there's not much else to do
It's
except
really
for
pretty there, though.
drink.
I mean, I just wouldn't think it'd be number 1 though.
I was going with Montana or the Dakotas.
Like
one of
that's what I
those.
was thinking too. Like when you went, I was like, okay, so he thinking like me, but
So we have six categories. All right. The number 1 category really is by itself. It's New Hampshire.
that's crazy.
The one below that is Nevada, and those are two. Those are alone in 1 and 2. All right. Then you get into the middle of the road. You have Montana, North Dakota,
See,
Wisconsin,
Yeah, I mean,
and Vermont.
no, Wisconsin, I totally get.
I
because
get Wisconsin. Yeah.
Otherwise, ain't nobody getting pregnant up there.
The gross. Nobody wants to sleep with a Wisconsin girl. The middle of the road, the lower middle of the road, Alaska, Hawaii, California, Oregon, Wyoming, Colorado, Minnesota, Illinois, Missouri, Michigan, Florida, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, and Louisiana.
I was gonna ask where we were.
Wow.
And then your bottom 2 rungs of the ladder, you have Washington, Idaho, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas,
Oh, good God, we're there.
Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, and I know it's always spelled weird.
Sound like
and
you want to say Connect Four.
Maryland and Virginia. And by the way, I am doing this on my recognition of the states, all right, because they're color coded. All right, I don't have a list. So you guys know I studied my states in school,
Right.
and I know where the hell they are. And then we have your lower tier, the very last. This is like 1 to 1.5 per capita, whatever their scale is. And you have Utah, of course,
This is where they have an all-star game. That's what I wanted to say.
Oklahoma, Arkansas, Georgia, and West Virginia.
I would think, if you asked me what the bottom state was, I would have said Utah.
Yeah, I mean that was an easy guess.
No, for sure. But
because of the Mormons. Sorry,
I guess I just don't.
might have mispronounced that. Sorry.
I guess I just don't get it how like North Dakota is kind of like up there at the top tier, and then South Dakota so far down. Like y'all don't sit up there and collaborate. Like
They don't like
nothing to
each
do
other.
with neither one of them.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
No.
Why? It's the same thing.
They're very different. Very different.
I mean,
states.
I've all been for like just taking like North
The
and South Dakota and just make them Dakota.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I've been saying.
But
Okay.
y'all know why this happens, right? Why there's a North and a South Dakota, why there's a North Carolina, South Carolina, why there's a West Virginia and Virginia. It's for political alignment.
Yes.
Back in the day when they were making new states, if you added a slave state, you also had to add a non-slave state to make it even for voters. That's exactly why you have stuff like that.
Well,
And
we
that's
can
why
get over
Dakota-
it now.
It used to just be the Dakota. Well, we're not adding states anymore.
No, but we can get over it. We can shrink some states.
Well, now you got to have representation in the Senate and the House of Representatives. It's all political.
Now, I'm with Kobe. Like it's Black History Month. Let's drink the steaks.
Is it? Didn't we already do that one time?
Which one?
Black History Month. Did we already have that a long time ago?
We're literally in it right now.
Why do we have to do it every year? I mean, we don't have a White History Month.
Yes, we do.
When?
Every other month of the year.
Why we don't celebrate it?
I don't know why y'all don't celebrate
Am I
it.
supposed to buy you a present?
Yes.
Do we call that reparations?
No. There's not enough going around for that.
Oh Lord!
I want to recount.
How did we get here?
I want to recount. Louisiana shouldn't be that
You
low.
went there as
You
soon as you
did.
said that.
You did. And
Finally, boys.
I still ain't got my Martin Luther King drink.
Let's get it. What do you ever do?
Oh, that's Rosa Parks, but go ahead.
exactly. Let's get into the gallons of ethanol. The total gallons. No, let's do this. Total gallons overall per state. All right. And you guys were disappointed where Texas came out in the first rankings.
I'm
Yes.
disappointed by Louisiana. I need a recount. They lying.
What do you think the number one state is? I'll tell you, Texas isn't number one. I'll give you that hint. It's up there. What is the number one state overall by population? So It's just over. So you would think the more populous states are going to have the most, right? with the consumption.
I feel like it's a trick question.
85.7 million gallons of alcohol consumed at this state every year, or last year, whenever they did this. What is the most populous state in the union?
State?
Yeah, the state that has the most.
California.
California. 85.7 million gallons consumed. I mean, I feel like I can do that by myself.
I don't think so.
I think sometimes I do that on a show.
I think you've been in a coma before and you ain't told us.
Number 2, boys,
Nevada.
Texas.
Oh.
At 56.9. We are almost 30 million gallons behind California. We need to come back. We need to fix that.
Give it about 5 years. Everybody from California be down.
Don't we? All right. Don't we want to be number 1 in that category?
I mean, why? I don't know if we
Winning.
just. I don't care.
Florida, number 3, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan. The state that consumes the least amount of alcohol in the country. Wyoming at 1.4 million. Wait, why do we have 51? Oh, they probably counted. Oh, because DC's counted here. Wyoming at 1.4 million. So the state that consumes the least is Wyoming at 1.4 million gallons. The state that consumes the most is California at 85 million gallons.
So we know where not to go.
Where would you rather party? I mean, I don't want to be in California.
I've been
in any circumstance.
I've been in California plenty of times. It'll definitely be California.
Yeah, it's just not fun, right? I feel it's not very much fun.
It is the bomb.
And then they had the states that drink the most alcohol in ethanol. Do we drink ethanol?
This is getting
The hell
too
is
far.
This is going
But
deep.
Texas is number 1. I don't know what that means.
We just drink more liquor, sounds like.
Yeah, well, we should for sure.
So
I don't
So
know.
there
That's
you go,
something you want to
boys.
win it though.
Why? Why would you not?
I don't.
The ethanol?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, all of it's a win at this point. I mean, if you're
Not you just want to win.
First of all, if I'm drinking, I'm not drinking beer or something. I go ahead and give me the hard stuff and let's go. If
Colby, when
that's-
you're at home drinking, do you still drink Jameson?
No, I don't.
What
So
do
next
you
time
drink now?
Next time I randomly find you in a bar somewhere, we're not going to do neat Jameson shots.
I mean, that's fine. I will always do that.
What's messy?
Huh?
What's messy Jameson shots?
Neat
You
is
don't know
just,
what neat means?
I know what neat means. I'm asking what's messy.
Then you don't know what neat means.
Thank you, Kobe. Go
He's
ahead.
trying to be funny.
So basically, I don't want anything. If I'm drinking it, I don't want ice. I don't want anything in there along with the liquor of choice.
Yeah.
Just give me that.
Just
And
straight up.
I've always been like that, right? Like if somebody say, "Hey, we got a margarita machine."
Margarita.
Yeah, and we're making stuff, and here you go. It's like, no. Just hand me the shots of tequila that you put in there. I will drink
I
those.
do love tequila shots.
And then
Have it.
if I want to drink something else for the flavor, I'll go drink it later.
Got to get the other stuff out of the way first.
Let me go ahead and have the medicine first.
Not the
Do love
medicine.
tequila.
So
We ever done tequila? I don't think we ever did tequila. We always did Jameson.
it was that, or
We did a Fireball once,
that was,
and you hated it.
I'm not.
I was about to say, was it the cinnamon taste? Like
You
it
only
tastes like
did-
Big Red?
It was very early on when we knew each other, and I went and bought it without knowing your preference because
Right.
everybody except Colby likes Fireball. And he looked
I'm
at
not
me like-
that fond
Colby
of
looked
Fireball.
at me like, "All right,
Not that fond of
I
Fireball.
guess, all right."
I mean, I'm not going
to
to turn down free alcohol.
No,
but I
you
wouldn't-
didn't, but you didn't enjoy it very much. I was like, all right. That's why when I asked him, like, okay, what do you like? He's like, JMO. Like, all right. And
Anything other than Fireball,
Yeah.
cinnamon flavor.
The next 78 shots we did together were all Jameson. I mean, that night.
Right.
Good night, right?
Right. So it's Jameson. For me, it's always been Jameson and then Jim Beam.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not one of your higher quality bourbons.
I have drank enough Jim in my life that if you were to take all the empty 1.5s that I'd put down throughout my life, I could go make a mansion out of what would look like a a nice glass house.
I feel like wild turkey is something that you would like. I don't know.
No,
why.
that's me. I used to drink Wild
Okay,
Turkey on the
I'm-
rocks. All the
okay.
time.
So I'm close.
The reason why Wild Turkey wasn't chosen is because Jim,
Mhm.
for a handle of it, will run you
It's
around
cheaper, yeah.
$23.
It makes sense.
Wild turkey will run you somewhere around
35.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so if I'm drinking at least half of that 1.5 in one night, and then the other half the next night, and that was the average. that was what was happening.
Thank you for your vulnerability.
That was what was happening. Then I'm gonna spend the $20-something, not the $30-something.
Hey, you ain't got
2 nights.
You ain't got to convince me. I understand.
And the way I go through alcohol, I can't afford the expensive stuff. If it's more than about $24-25 a handle, I don't buy it unless someone buys it for me.
So
I feel like that happens a lot.
Speaking of getting drunk and ruining your home,
oh hey,
boys, let's talk a little marriage drama.
dun dun dun
Dun dun dun.
So I've been married a number of times.
yes,
Colby's been married
twice.
Zero.
Gary, wait, you're gay?
No,
No?
never.
Never been, but
Never.
you've never been married.
I've never.
But you're
been
straight.
married. I'm straight as a.
You love the ladies.
love them.
Okay, I just wanted to
death.
make sure on our first show we get that out of the way because I know people are wondering.
It's only because you did right.
You got
We're
turned
all
up.
drunk.
There you go.
I'm getting the hang of it. Calm down.
There you go. So I saw this in an article, believe it or not, on Fox News,
Oh, good.
but it was based
That's a
on
reliable
it was
source.
based on a Reddit post, so you know it's good, right?
Right.
So, and I'm a little torn here because I really don't know what to think about it. So I'll just go through it, and you guys let me know what your thoughts are.
Okay.
A woman on Reddit, and by the way, I have no idea. I'll be honest. I know what Reddit is, and I know about Reddit,
Okay.
but I don't really know what it is or how to do it. Is it like an alternate internet or
It's just
like a
it's,
chat room or
it's a the proper way to describe it is almost like Facebook for freaks.
wait, I'm a freak.
I was just gonna say the opposite alternate universe of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. Like that's what I was gonna kind of say.
I mean, it's
The movie ranking place?
Yeah.
you do everything on Reddit.
Yeah, you do everything
yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
yeah. All right. So a woman on Reddit recently asked others if she was out of line
Yes.
for I was
She
immediately like, yeah.
already is.
Yeah, yes. For inviting herself to her husband's doctor's appointment
What?
when he specifically asked her not to go because he wanted privacy.
Oh, well, that's a code word of I got to go ask him about this new thing on my penis.
So the overall question
Yeah, that's where you
here
take it.
is at what point between a husband and a wife when you're married do you have privacy? Do you not have privacy? Let's check out the rest of what her thing was and then kind of figure out if you're on board with
Here's
this.
my penis.
Yeah, there it was. She said, my husband has been dealing with some health issues for the past few weeks. She told others on Reddit that he's been frequently visiting the doctor. So she asked him if she could go with him. But he said, no, that's not necessary. I can do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
So he specifically said, don't come.
Right.
The woman added, when I asked why he wouldn't want me with him, he said he felt more comfortable having privacy with his doctor.
Okay.
I jokingly asked if his doctor was a woman.
Of course.
All he did was stare at me disapprovingly.
Right. How dare you think
Okay.
about that?
She said when she heard when his next doctor's appointment was, she decided to show up unannounced.
Oh.
She went to the appointment 10 minutes after him. She entered the doctor's office. She identified herself as his wife and asked what room he was in. They immediately led her back to the room.
Please tell me it was a female.
She walked in. She greeted the doctor, who, by the way, was a man. And she said she greeted her husband, but he refused to even look at me and would not speak to me.
Right.
She went on that they left the office together, went off in the car. He was pissed that she was there. She shouldn't have shown up. He asked her not to. She even asked the doctor for information on why he was there, which they would not give,
right,
even to the spouse. She said, well, I'm his wife. It's okay. I already know he's dealing with health issues. I just want to support him. And they said, we cannot give you that information. So the woman thinks that her husband was hiding something.
Right.
And thinks that he overstepped this boundary, whatever it is, refusing to allow her to go to the doctor. Right.
Uh-huh.
And apparently he's going through some hard times. She wanted to support him. She says, I think he overreacted. I want to know what all of you guys on Reddit think, which apparently, she's probably going to get lit up, right? On Reddit, if I know anything.
I hope she did.
Yeah, here's the thing. And all right, lady, you're worried or curious or just mad that information about him is out there and you don't know it. That sounds like a lot of this is, oh, you told me I can't go? Oh, well, I'm going. And you don't know what he's dealing with. And you also we as men don't really process a whole lot of things the correct way. We process it like we process it. And a lot of us were taught as growing up is that you suck it up. You suck it up, you deal with it. A man's job is to deal with everybody else's problems the way we can.
That's how we were raised.
Household. But then our problems are our problems. And once you're, I guess, for a lack of a better term, programmed to act like that and to be like that, it feels somewhat like you're not as much of a man if you end up having to be depending on somebody else in situations like that. For some people love to have that, you're with this with me, let's go. And that person would have told you, I would love for you to be there. You need to know your husband or your spouse and know that it could have been something as simple as whatever's causing him, he caught it by going outside of the marriage. He really doesn't want you to know about that, and he's trying to get it fixed.
And I think that's maybe why. That's at least a reason.
But that's a could be. The other thing is that he's dealing with something that's pretty harsh, or maybe it has to do with, his gut insides. There's men out there that don't want you to know anything about what's going on with their butt. And if that's what's going on, then he don't want you to know.
That's correct.
So you wait until he lets you know when he's ready to open up. And if he doesn't
open up,
you kind of got to hope it gets fixed.
Right.
But no.
Well, and here's the interesting thing. She never does say, because she probably, at the time she posted this, probably still didn't know why he was there.
Right.
Like the article never points out why he was there. It does post some comments from, the Redditors or whatever.
Right.
Rapists. If you can't simply wait for your husband to eventually tell you how it's going, how can your husband trust you to be a trustworthy and caring other half? Other people said this is a massive breach of confidentiality, whether you're married or not.
Yep.
And other people are saying, why did the doctor even allow you in the room? He should have kicked you out. I mean, which I kind of get too.
I do.
I mean, when it comes to what you had stated earlier, Colby, like, I just know from what you see from men, no matter what color, age, or whatever, like, we don't like going to the doctor. So that's already a privacy thing. And you chose to show up. So even if I would have told you, like, that night or whatever, taking you out to a dinner or whatever, brought some flowers home and told you, I no longer trust you no more.
Man, that's a huge thing.
And like, that's a huge thing.
That's kind of my question. I mean, you haven't been married. You and I have been married. You're still married. And that's a huge commitment. You really are joined together, like one. If you go to get married in a church, that's one of the scriptures they read, you two to become one. And but there still has to be an amount of privacy, right? Of separation. Like, my question is, at what point does that go away? Like, where's the line? Is it medical? It has to be, right?
It's the line is drawn where you, as each part of the couple, draw that line. Like, this is how far I want to go with this. The other thing and she talked about, the openness and whatever and wanting to know everything. The other thing is the trust issue of, I told you not to come. I trusted you not to be here. And I want you to trust me to handle this.
That's the bigger thing. I agree.
And because you can't trust me to handle this or open up to you when I am ready, you had to force your way into this. I have to tell you that would be enough for me, no matter how long you've been together. And it obviously wasn't long because this would have already been figured out before this. If I would have been like, this may be something that I can't deal with.
Deal breaker.
Because this is a line that you crossed that I can't handle.
Automatically, you got to start questioning stuff.
So my thoughts are like, what if it's something serious? Like, what if it's a cancer scare?
Right.
And he's going back for some more tests. The doctor goes, look, there's a situation. Maybe we don't know. I need to know more.
Right.
So I need you to come back a couple of times. We'll talk about it. I'm not going to tell my wife, oh my God, I may have cancer. I'm not going to do that
because
I will handle it on my own.
Well, it's automatic freak out.
I'll handle it on my own. When the doctor goes, yes, you do, or no, you don't, then I'll say, look, hey, appreciate you letting me have my privacy the last couple of weeks. It was kind of a cancer scare, but I'm good. It's all good. I didn't want to worry you.
Well, it's one of those things with the words that toss around nowadays with women of all ages, which is boundaries.
Right.
Like, you don't respect mine, but you want me to sit there and respect yours. That's kind of what this story reminds me of.
It's that. And there's a bunch of other stuff that's going wrong with today's everything. And this is one of them. Not only is it kind of, the demasculating of the man as he stands and really just trying to form us into some kind of mold that we weren't brought up to be, which I do have a problem with that. I don't vocalize it a lot, but if you've probably hung out with me long enough, you know that I don't fit in most molds that it's supposed to be. But I'm not supposed to. And this goes along just a little bit. I won't go on this rant too far, but if we are supposed to, as human beings, as citizens of this world, let everybody be who they believe they are, and I'm full for that whatever, if you believe that you are, a potato and you want to be a potato and that's you. Yeah. I know I said it as a funny line, but then let that person be that potato. Mm-hmm. But if we're going to do that, then we need to let the men who want to be men. And that is something that's wrong.
You said that better than I would have.
Yep. Colby, you got 10 minutes for news and notes. You ready?
I am ready. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, me, for making us sound good. News and notes is where I search the World Wide Web for the weird.
Internets.
And by God, I found it.
Got it.
So, what do you do as if you're a city worker and you're working on like the pipelines of the city? What do you do when you just find some pipes and you want to know, well, where do those go?
Man, I've seen chicks and I would say all I want to do is clean her pipes.
Right.
I knew you was going to go there.
What are you talking about?
So what happens is this is in a church in Hudson, which I don't know where Hudson's at, but I'm going to go ahead and guess it's somewhere. I'm guessing it's a Catholic church.
Good day, mate.
And I'm just going to say it's somewhere in America. But some city workers were like, hey, man, where do you think these pipes go? I've never seen where these go at all. What are they doing? Their answer to find out where these pipes go, because I guess they had a lot of time on their hands, was to fill them with cement. See what happens.
This just sounds so wrong.
That seems like an extreme.
This just sounds so wrong.
So what they didn't know is that they mistakenly pumped that cement into the pipes.
Glad you enunciated the T.
It was
he had to.
Pipe work for a nearby crematorium.
Oh
no.
Which then flooded beside the funeral home, crematorium, all that school and Christian school and all of that. It flooded all of that with the remains that were supposed to go down those pipes.
Wait, they flush people down pipes?
They don't, but you see, you have your ash remains and all of that, but then you also have there's some things that don't need to be going along with all that. Yeah.
This is so wrong.
So
you
realize that you have, you collect the ashes, right?
Mhm,
You've got them in,
After you burn them.
yeah, after you burn them.
Yeah.
Well, then, those certain areas, well, not all of that is all completely in the
In like the
canister,
urn, yeah.
in the urn.
Yeah.
And so it gets removed.
How?
I guess that's the part that they flush down the pipe.
Is that what they flush down? Learn something new every day.
Wow.
So yeah. So you
Huh.
can imagine being at that school and going, does it smell like Eddie in here?
Eddie.
Eddie, poor Eddie. Stay hard, Eddie.
Nice.
Let's go from there to Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So
Minnesota.
Good day, mate.
recently, all over all over pretty much America, we had that big cold front and all that come through, right?
It's code.
And so when it happened, for everybody else, it had a little bit of a cold front and a little bit of a heat wave and then more of a cold front. Minnesota, the cold front come through and the wind started blowing and it actually snowed in a bear while they were hibernating.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
So the bear was like, crap, I can't stay here. So the bear woke up and moved. Well, then the heat wave kind of came and opened it up. And then this cold front came back through again and packed on the snow on top of the bear. So you ever buried somebody in the sand in the beach to where like just their heads sticking out of the sand?
My head and my penis.
That's
not what you want to see at the beach.
no.
I mean, it was there.
That was what happened to this 7-year-old black bear.
It was only 7.
It's underage
400 pounds.
and
No,
overweight.
he ain't overage.
Underage and overweight.
So the bear was caught and it was trapped. People felt sorry for it. It was found a few days later as it was reported, but some people felt sorry for the bear because they thought, hey, man, this bear is just kind of stuck in this ice. This is bad.
No, I'm good.
So the department officials, when they found the bear that was buried up to its head. Around its head was some offerings that included a box of Pop-Tarts, a head of lettuce, a dead sucker minnow, some cat food, and some Swedish fish candy.
For the love of all that knows holy, what in the hell was this offering going to do?
Bear's hungry.
I mean, just in case the bear was hungry. Now,
Pop-Tarts?
Everybody likes Pop-Tarts.
Everybody likes Pop-Tarts.
Not bears. They can't do nothing with no Pop-Tarts.
Bears literally eat trash.
Yeah, they eat honey and stuff.
No, but Pop-Tarts are golden.
Brown sugar, cinnamon.
Every type of Pop-Tart. I don't even care.
That's the only ones I eat.
It's a couple of them that I don't eat. But yeah, brown sugar and cinnamon. We grew up off those.
I heard they're renaming them to LeBron sugar cinnamon.
That means he's the GOAT.
Uh-huh.
Kill me now.
So, but, the bear's hibernating. It's already ate all that it can before it started. So they usually don't eat while they're hibernating. So all the stuff was still around the bear.
Shout out to the person that gave him a lettuce, though.
Were there
Yeah.
ants? But there were ants.
It's snowing.
It was
I don't think
snowing.
there was ants.
Snow
breaking
It
out.
was snowing.
Himalayan snow ants.
Okay.
They're not in Himalayas.
So, at any rate, yeah, that's what happened to them. Let's go to Florida, where a Florida man who reportedly broke into a Palm Coast gas station and stole items was identified and later arrested. Why? After he left behind his debit card. Deputies responded to the business after an alarm went off early Sunday morning and found the front door of the business unlocked. Inside the empty gas station, they found a debit card with the name Lance Kurtz.
Dorset.
Nope. On the counter near the register. The gas station owner reviewed the surveillance video, which showed the man enter the store from the back, taking multiple items, then unlocking the front door and leaving. Not before he left his debit card near the cash register, which leads me to believe that home dude was coming off a meth high, Florida, got the munchies and stuff, and was kind of drowsy and whatever. Walked in and got a bunch of stuff and said, "There's nobody here. Here's my debit card."
Just leave it.
And just left.
I want my child. Come back for my change.
I'll come back for my change off of my debit card. That's right. And I have more, but you're going to have to wait till Monday because that's news and notes, everybody.
Well, what a ride it's been these 2 hours, boys. The inaugural Colby, Sapp, and IndyCar Tim show. We want to thank everybody that's been a part of this one, everybody that was on Facebook for us and with us, and everybody that commented that we didn't get to your comments. We apologize. All the fun segments we had. Gary for twisting and tweaking, making us sound good, except for that one time when he messed up so bad he's going to have to spin the wheel.
I got it right at the end.
What?
I got it right at the end.
Yeah, except for that one time in the middle when you didn't.
That's your fault.
Oh, it was my fault. But yes, more of this is on the way. We are still here every Wednesday and Monday nights, 7 Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And then you can find the recorded podcast the next day on your favorite podcast app and at dspmediaonline.com. Thank you to Turflife.club, HighlandsPGC.com, and also Golf Central Magazine over at golfcentralmag.com. We will be back on Monday. I will be in Oklahoma this weekend, probably doing a bunch of live videos and making fun of like animals I find in the woods.
That's code for he's going to some bars and picking up chicks.
Yeah.
I will have nasty code right there.
I will have exclusive video of me in the woods.
Hey, start
only over the weekend.
Start at OnlyFans.
I already have one.
I would put the exclusive content on there.
Well, it's not my real name. I can't really do that. But we
Trying to
appreciate
help you.
everybody. We will be back again on Monday. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.